biography, please.
I'm Beverly Blankenship. My husband and I own Sleepy's Log Furniture here in town. I've lived in Eureka Springs for 10 years now. I'm proud to say that I've served on your city council for the past 2 years. I spend hours every week researching the issues, the legal aspects, the facts, and the history, so that not only my fellow councilmen, but also you as citizens will understand the issues and be informed. I've attended the municipal league conferences, the state park and tourism meetings, National Incident Management School, just to be more informed and educated. I understand how city government is supposed to work, and I know I can make positive changes. I was the chief financial officer of a telecommunications company in Houston, Texas. I have a strong business and finance background. I have a successful business here, and I have everything I own invested in this city and its future. I'm a good listener. I have leadership skills and the communication skills necessary to be a good mayor.
Thank you. Ms. Wilson?
Thank you first to the Chamber and Mr. Pelham for giving us this opportunity. I think it's a great way to inform the public. My name is Dana Wilson. I have lived in Eureka Springs for 18 years. I have raised 2 children here, run 5 businesses in this town. I've sat on the Commercial Club Steering Committee, the Main Stage Board, the Parking Authority, the Planning Commission, the Arkansas Support Network, which services all of Northwest Arkansas, and I currently sit on the Area Agency on Aging, which services 7 counties in Northwest Arkansas, and actually gives us Meals on Wheels for our senior citizens. I have lobbied with the state government for 3,500 critically ill children in our state and 28,000 of your children that we're going to lose funding through Our Kids First. And I have trained with the Governor's Disability Council on lobbying techniques with the state.
No, thank you both very much. First question, and it will first be asked to Ms. Blankenship, is what do you think is the most important issue facing our community and why?
I believe the city fracturing itself over and over again because of the lack of compromise, the lack of direction, and the lack of communication is costing our city and its citizens dearly. It's taking the joy out of our town and replacing it with anger and bitterness. It's causing poor business decisions based on emotion and not fact. It's causing some poor health because of the strife. For a place that prides itself on acceptance, we seem to draw the line on political differences. We're not very tolerant there at all. Different views or opinions should never make us enemies. After the election, we'll still be neighbors. What then? We need a comprehensive 5-year plan in place with all the departments and citizen volunteers working towards its completion to move this city forward. We need to understand and be tolerant of different ideas and thinking. We need to treat each and every person with courtesy and respect. I believe we have the people in place to be a community, and community is joining together. If we have a leader that's willing to lead in the right direction, we can make this happen. Of course, it will also need you to be willing to work with government, to volunteer, to be involved. I have no axes to grind, no favors to lend, and no relatives that need work. I just want the very best for Eureka Springs.
All right. Ms. Wilson?
I've thought about this question a lot. I have gone from making sure that our sewer plant is completed on time and within budget to the CAPC, and there are so many issues that are actually facing our town today, but I think one of the most critical ones is that we are a fractured town. We are a town that has been one side against the other since the first day that someone came here back in the 1870s. It has been one fight over and over. Our government is a quagmire of inefficiency and has been for decades. I think that it's time that we sit down patiently and agree that it's okay if we disagree on certain issues, but we've got to find common ground to be able to make the best decision for the citizens of this town. We need to learn how to compromise, and that's something that I think that we have lacked. We need to be a community again. We are not doing it anymore. Charlotte was right when she said we need to be able to knock on each other's doors and say, I have a problem with this, what do you think? We cannot function separately. This is about all of us. It's the entire town together. I pledge to you that I will do everything in my power to make sure that the health and the well-being of the citizens of this town comes first.
All right. Second question, asked to both of you. First to Ms. Blankenship. is what will be your first order of business as mayor and why?
Well, first, let me say that if I'm elected in November, I would like to set up meetings with all the candidates for office that run in this election. I believe that anyone who cares enough to run for office in Eureka Springs cares strongly about the future of our city, and I would seek to reach a consensus on goals for the next 5 years and how we could work together to achieve those. My first order of business as mayor would be to set up a town hall meeting with an overview of the city's vision plans, the consensus of goals from the candidates, and listen to the major concerns of the citizens to make sure they're all included and addressed in a 5-year plan. A city without a specific plan is like a ship without a rudder, and it's crucial that we have a plan enacted for the survival of Eureka Springs. Once the information is gathered, I'd present it to the council for approval. Once it receives council's approval, I would give it to each department head so that they could develop action items and contribute to make the plan a reality. I believe issues such as a reliable, compliant sewer plant, well-maintained streets, safe sidewalks, more sidewalks, a vibrant economy, city water and sewer to all its residents, open channel of communication, fiscal responsibility, and an open and honest government will be some of the major issues in a 5-year plan. And it'll take us all working together to find ways to achieve them, but I know it can be done.
Thank you. Ms. Wilson?
I think the first order of business would be actually to assemble your staff and your department heads. We need to identify the issues that are critical that need to be addressed first. From there, we need to identify what can actually be obtained in the first year. We're going to have to look at the budget and work within that financial constraint and actually look to where we can cut expenses and save money. In between all of this, I want to assemble an economic advisory committee that will be made up of in-town and out-of-town citizens. This will be an advising board only that is for the mayor to help the mayor make the best decisions possible for this town. We are going to have many different things come up over the next 4 years, and we have a wealth of knowledge in this town alone that we have not tapped into, and I think that it's about time that we do that and let our citizens be more active in our government. This would not be a voting board. This is strictly in advisory capacity.
All right, now the questions that were